Is it?
It's going, Michael.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, Terry wanted me to talk about the process for these paintings here. They're both actually Vermont villages. This is the village of East Corinth. And I got the idea for these paintings out of books originally. So there are some pictures here, and they'll be here at the gallery for anybody who wants to see them. Pictures of the village of East Corinth. So what's interesting about seeing a book like this and where a photo like this or this, what's interesting about it is you could see some of the artistic license that an artist would take when creating a finished painting. Because if you want to match up all the architecture in these pictures, you'll see that most of it actually does match up in a painting like this. But you'll also see that, like in this picture right here, for example, the weather is different, the time of day is slightly different. I really accentuated the sky, which the sky here is pretty bland, but I really like the light at the top of the hill here. And that was the whole thing, because in my paintings, it's a lot about light and color that I wanted to accentuate and create that painting. But you can see that there's no water feature in either of these photos. And so I used artistic license to develop all this whole water area to bring sort of lightness up top here down to the darker part of the painting. And it sort of lights it up and makes it more dynamic and interesting to look at, and that's sort of what you want. Also, there are some buildings that I changed or simplified, but in this case I added this for the balance of the picture. Like if you take this out of the picture, it's still pretty good, but I thought that one made it better. You know, it just made it better. If this wasn't here, it would still be a nice painting to look at, but I just think having more lights over here to bring the lights all around from end to end, and just having that to balance the painting just made it better. So also these books are from my dad actually, and he was a huge fan of Vermont, and he was in the book business his whole life, and he's really the reason that I got into art in the beginning anyway. Him and my mother knew a famous artist growing up who I then knew, so they encouraged my art, and my dad loved Vermont, and he would buy every Vermont book there ever was and just send them to me and said, you should do a painting of this, you should do a painting of this, you should do a painting of this, you should do it. And here it is all these years later, and he's not with us anymore. And I recently have actually really started taking him up on it and taking all the books that he sent me and going through them and seeing what inspires me to make a painting. So he sort of had a hand in this one, I guess you could say. You know, so that's the interesting story about these. You have to come and see them at the gallery.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Everybody's here. Wait.
Yeah.
I like that. That's some pictures. That's great. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. And these, you guys probably know the bookstore here, the Northshire.
Yeah, oh, sure. Yes.
I mean, they have a whole Vermont section when you walk it. Well, they move it sometimes, but
Right.
it's all just Vermont photography and Vermont this and Vermont that. And I've got so many. In fact, I would go there and buy books, and a week later, my dad would find it online, and I'd get it in the mail.
Yeah.
I'd buy it here, and I'd go get a duplicate copy in the mail, which works out because sometimes I'll cut it out, so I can just keep
So this way
the
you
one.
can keep
Yeah. And I
full
wasn't.
copy.
I still had a good copy of the book.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
one I could
And then one
destroy.
that you can kind of
Yeah,
rip
exactly.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Work out.
It's nice,
Yeah,
it's
so you
nice
can
to
see.
see the
Yeah.
inspiration
Nice to
piece,
see.
so to
And you
speak, and then.
you really could see it, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
No,
Of
absolutely.
course.
But you could
But I
see
love the
it.
sky,
Yes.
the water
all the changes.
additions, the light,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.